In 2018, the Association for Pet Obesity Prevention estimated that 56% of dogs in the US were overweight or obese. And dog obesity is just as dangerous as obesity in humans. And between you and I, being overweight can greatly reduce the lifespan and the quality of life that your dog has. Hi, I'm Chelsea from Dogs Naturally, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to tell if your dog is overweight and what you can do about it.
Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and if you're on YouTube, click the alert notification.
First, here's how to tell if your dog is overweight. The easiest way is to feel his ribs. Holistic vet Dr. Edward Bassingthwaite offers this guideline. Make a loose fist with one hand and run your other hand over your knuckles. That's what your dog's ribs should feel like. Bumpy, not smooth because they're covered by a layer of fat. Your dog should also have a defined waist. You should be able to see it from above and from the side. And you should be able to see where his chest stops and his belly begins. Now, if your vet has told you your dog's overweight, chances are she's recommending prescription weight loss foods she sells too. But some of the ingredients in these foods are just fillers, and they can be missing some pretty important nutrients. So let's go over a couple of the ingredients pet food manufacturers use to make diet kibbles. First, powdered cellulose. This is basically sawdust. Woody fiber without any nutritional value. Cellulose dilutes the calories in each serving, and it also makes your dog feel full. And you'll notice the amount your dog poops also increases because cellulose is a non-digestible fiber. Next on the list is beet pulp. This is a high fiber byproduct of the sugar beet industry. It's considered an inexpensive filler. Some reports say it has health benefits. Still, its vitamins and minerals get removed for other purposes, and all that remains is fiber that passes through your dog just like any other fiber, even though it started its life as a root vegetable. Now, let's talk about Brewers Rice. This is the small grain fragments left over after whole grains of rice are milled. It's an inexpensive grain filler without any nutritional value, but it will bulk up your dog's poop and make it feel fuller. Next is chicken byproduct meal. That even sounded gross just to say, and it's even grosser when you know what it means. Chicken byproduct meal is a dry rendered product made from slaughterhouse waste. In other words, it's the leftovers of slaughtered chickens. It's usually anything but meat, but it does include feathers, fat, feet, and beaks. This next one is common, and it comes in different forms. Soy flour, soy grits, soybean meal run. Soy is problematic for several reasons. It's a low-cost alternative to meat protein, but it can be highly allergenic. Most soy is also genetically modified, and then it's harvested using a toxic glyphosate as a drying agent. Soy grits are left over after the extraction and removal of oil and soy meat. And soybean meal run is the hulls after the soy meat is removed. So when there's soy in a dog food, it artificially increases the protein content without adding any meat. These soybean byproducts are a poor source of amino acids and are an unusable protein that your dog can't digest. So now you might be thinking, if these weight loss management kibbles are no good, what am I supposed to feed my fat dog? Here are some options. Let's start with a raw diet. Our recommendation will always be a whole food raw meat diet. You can buy pre-made frozen raw food, and most of the options out there are complete and balanced. Some even contain fruits and vegetables for extra nutrients. Even if you can't do raw, whatever you feed, make sure it's low in starch. Dogs have no nutritional requirement for starch. A diet of protein and fat supplemented by some low-carb fruit and vegetables meets your dog's energy needs. A low-carb or low-starch diet includes raw meat or gently cooked meals without any carbohydrates in starch or grain form. Avoid legumes like lentils or chickpeas as well. These add starch to the diet. They're often used to add plant-based protein because it's cheaper than meat. But plant proteins don't have the full range of amino acids that are in an animal protein that your dog needs. What about a freeze-dried raw diet? Freeze-dried food is a great alternative to raw. Most freeze-dried raw diets have the same ingredients as pre-made raw frozen diets: muscle meat, organs, and ground bones. Some will include fruits and vegetables, and like raw, the better options don't have added synthetic vitamins and minerals. Freeze drying also doesn't deplete the nutrients in the food, so it's a really convenient option if you can't handle raw yet. If your dog is already overweight, feeding a quality diet isn't the only important thing you need to do. Here are simple ways you can help your dog lose weight. Number 1, feed the right amount. For a raw meat diet or home-cooked diet, that's usually 2 to 3% of your dog's ideal adult body weight. If your dog is overweight, feed him based on what a healthy weight should be, not what he's currently at. Start at 2%. So if 50 pounds is a good weight for your dog, he should get about 1 pound of food a day. And don't forget to include the treats as well. Then you can just adjust the amount up or down depending on whether or not he gains or loses weight. If your dog is older or less active, feed on the lower side. Feed on the higher side if he's really active and out running around a lot. If you do feed kibble or any pre-made food, keep in mind that the recommended feeding amounts are usually way too high. If your dog gains weight, cut back on his portions. The next way is to reduce feedings or food portions. You may have to experiment with this for your overweight dog. Some dogs will lose weight with just 1 meal a day. This mimics what would happen in nature when dogs would only eat when they found food. And it gives your dog's digestive system a break. But you might need a different approach if your dog seems really hungry all the time. If that's your dog, he might lose weight more easily if you split his daily food into 2 or 3 feedings a day. Another thing to avoid is free feeding. Free feeding is when you keep your dog's bowl full and your dog is allowed to eat whenever he wants. But you can't tell how much he's eating throughout the day, so it's a bad idea for an overweight dog. Always make sure you give your dog nutritious food. Feed more protein and veggies with no simple carbs and only healthy fats. Supplement your dog's existing food with add-ins like veggies, fruit, eggs, and sardines. You can include non-starchy veggies like broccoli, green beans, celery, or asparagus, but make sure you steam or puree these so your dog can digest them properly. You can also give low-sugar fruits like blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, or cranberries. Next, help your dog feel full by giving foods with healthy fiber. Fiber gives your dog a feeling of fullness without the calories, but that doesn't mean you need to give him cellulose or other fillers found in the processed dog foods. Instead, give him healthy fiber like berries, mushrooms, broccoli, or green beans. Another way to help your dog lose weight is by increasing his daily exercise. Dogs can be victims of their owners' lifestyles. Depending on the age and the health of your dog, he might need 1/2 to 2 hours of physical activity every single day. If your dog isn't very active, try a quick walk around the neighborhood to sniff out the surroundings. This engages your dog and has physical and mental benefits. Lastly, as I mentioned earlier, don't forget to keep track of the treats. Your dog can easily gain weight from just eating too many treats per day. It's great to use treats for training or to reward your dog, or just because like I do, but keep track of them. You may need to remove some of the food from his meals to make up for extra treats. And try to use healthy treats when you can, like freeze-dried or dehydrated meats, vegetables instead of cookies, or other starchy snacks. Well, there you have it, some easy ways to tell if your dog is overweight and some solutions to help you get back on track. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and share it with someone you know. Thanks for watching.